Hello students, in continuation with the chapter haloalkanes and haloarenes, today let us see the nature of CX bond. So the nature of CX bond, we all know that carbon is more electronegative, halogen X is more electronegative in nature in comparison to that of carbon. So X carries a charge of delta negative on it, and carbon, since it is positive, electropositive in nature, it carries a charge of delta plus on it. As a result, alkyl halide is a polar molecule. Now, since the size of halogens, we know as we move down the group in the periodic table, it from fluorine to that of iodine, it increases down the group. Therefore, that means I mean to say fluorine is having the small size and iodine is having the largest size there. As a result, the carbon halogen bond length also increases from CF to CI respectively. I'll show you in this table. You see there carbon halogen bond lengths, bond enthalpies, and dipole moments. You can see the bond length for CH3F, it is 139, and as we move down the group, for CH3I, it becomes large and it is 214 picometers there. And bond enthalpy, it decreases from CH3F to that of CH3I because fluorine is highly electronegative in nature and due to small size, its enthalpy is high. Dipole moment also, it decreases. You see, for CH3F, it is 1.847, and as we move on the group, CH3I is having 1.636 dBi respectively. Next, let us see the preparation of alkyl halides. The first method of preparation of alkyl halides is from alcohols. So we'll see the preparation of alkyl halides from that of alcohols. To show that, first method is when an alcohol is treated with that of hydrogen halide HX in presence of zinc chloride, it results in giving you alkyl halide plus water. This reaction is also used to differentiate a primary alcohol from that of secondary, from that of tertiary alcohols there. A mixture of concentrated solution of zinc chloride and HCl or HBr. That reagent is called as Lucas reagent. So when I treat an alcohol with that of Lucas reagent, it results in giving you alkyl halide plus water, in which 3-degree alcohols if you take, that will give immediate precipitation on treatment with that of Lucas reagent. 2-degree alcohols will give precipitate after 5 minutes, and 1-degree alcohols, no reaction is there. That's how you can differentiate a primary alcohol from that of secondary, from that of tertiary alcohol respectively. You can also prepare an alkyl halide on treating alcohol with sodium bromide in presence of H2SO4. It gives RBr plus NaHSO4 plus water. Third reaction, you see alcohol and treatment with PX3, phosphorus trihalide. It gives alkyl halide plus H3PO3, where X can be Cl or Br respectively. Alcohol on treatment with that of PCl5 gives RCl plus POCl3 plus HCl. This is the reaction with that of phosphorus pentachloride. Then alcohol and treatment with red phosphorus in presence of halogen X2. X2 can be Br2 or I2, iodine. It results in giving you alkyl halide RX. And the last method of preparation of alcohols, ROH, with that of thionyl chloride, SOCl2. It results in giving you RCl plus SO2 plus HCl, and this is the best method of preparation of alkyl halide from that of alcohols, that is alcohols on treatment with thionyl chloride. It results in giving you alkyl halide plus sulfur dioxide plus HCl, and this is the best method because the alkyl halide that is formed in good quantity, and the other two byproducts that are formed, sulfur dioxide and HCl, are gaseous products that are formed there. That's why we prefer the preparation of alkyl halide. We prefer from alcohols, we prefer to treat it with thionyl chloride, SOCl2, sulfonyl chloride there. So this is the first method of preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols. Let us see the second method. The second method is from hydrocarbons, and the first way is by free radical halogenation. We have read this free radical halogenation in class 11. Free radical chlorination or bromination of alkanes gives a complex mixture of isomeric mono and polyhaloalkanes, which is difficult to separate as pure compounds. Consequently, the yield of any one compound is low. Now look at this reaction. This is butane that is taken, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. This on treatment with chlorine in presence of ultraviolet light or heat, it results in the formation of two compounds there, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2Cl, that is butyl chloride, or 1-chlorobutane plus 2-chlorobutane. You'll be getting. Right. Now see how I get this reaction. I'm showing you here on the board. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. Halogenation reaction is taking place on treatment with that of Cl2H nu. Now whatever number of replaceable hydrogen atoms are present, that many number of products will be formed. Here you see replaceable hydrogen. If I take it out from here, that is from left side, or if I remove from hydrogen from that of right side and replace it with that of chlorine there, or if I remove hydrogen from second carbon, here also it is second carbon. So since two replaceable hydrogen atoms are there, both the hydrogen atoms one by one will be replaced, and it results in giving you two products there. So the product that is formed here is CH3. If I remove H from there, the product that is formed is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2Cl. That is 1-chlorobutane is formed. Plus, if I remove one hydrogen from here and replace with that of halogen, the product that is formed is CH3, CH2, CH, Cl, CH3. 2-chlorobutane is formed. This is 1-chlorobutane and this is 2-chlorobutane that is formed. So this is how you will take the reactions by free radical halogenation reactions. Whatever number of replaceable hydrogen atoms are present, that many number of products will be formed. Let me show you the question there. The question asked is, identify all the possible monochlorostructural isomers expected to be formed on free radical monochlorination of CH3 twice CH, CH2, CH3. I'm just showing you the total number of replaceable hydrogen atoms. You remove those hydrogens and replace it with that of Cl there. I'm showing you, I'm writing the compound here on the board. Only compound I'm writing. Products you will write. You can write. It is CH3, CH, CH3. Remember, carbon is tetravalent in nature. Whenever you write the structure, it should fulfill, carbon should fulfill its tetracovalency there. Now see, this is the question that is given. Here you see, this is A. If you remove from here also, A replaceable hydrogen, A replaceable hydrogen here also from this carbon. If you remove hydrogen from here, it will give you a different product. So this is B, this is C replaceable hydrogen atom, and this is D replaceable hydrogen atom. So remove either from here one of the hydrogen and replace it with that of Cl. It will result in the formation of one product. Then if you remove hydrogen from here and replace it with that of Cl, it will give you the second product. Plus, if you remove from C part, it will give you the third product. If you remove from D part, it will give you the fourth product respectively. So 4 products are formed when you do the chlorination of this compound. I hope you have followed. Now next, let me tell you the next preparation, that is by electrophilic substitution reactions there. Keep it in your mind that whenever benzene substituted compounds, they undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. It results in giving you a mixture of ortho and para products always, in which the para product is the major product that is formed, and the ortho one is always in minor ones there. Because here you see in para halo, suppose I take a compound methyl benzene is toluene. Toluene, when treated with X2, that is, it can be chlorine, bromine, iron in presence of dark. It results in giving you a mixture of orthohalotoluene and parahalotoluene respectively. And para product is always the major product that is formed during the reaction. And they can be separated. The mixture of ortho and para isomers can be separated due to their large difference in their melting points there. Next, let me tell you about the first name reaction of this chapter, and it is called as Sandmeyer's reaction. You need to learn this name reaction as many times as you can, because the direct question comes, write short notes on Sandmeyer's reaction, or the question may be convert aniline to that of chlorobenzene, or convert aniline to that of bromobenzene. So if you know this reaction, Sandmeyer's reaction, this is the first name reaction of this chapter, and it is called as Sandmeyer's reaction. Let me first explain you about the Sandmeyer's reaction. Sandmeyer's reaction is when a primary aromatic amine is treated with that of sodium nitrite in presence of HX. Remember the temperature conditions, 0 to 5 degrees Celsius or 273 to 278 Kelvin. It results in giving you benzene diazonium halide salt. This benzene diazonium halide, when treated with that of cuprous chloride or cuprous bromide, it results in giving you aryl halide. It may be chlorobenzene or bromobenzene, along with the evolution of nitrogen gas there. So this is Sandmeyer's reaction. If the question comes, write short notes on Sandmeyer's reaction. Explain Sandmeyer's reaction in 1 or 2 lines first, and then write the chemical equation that is related to this Sandmeyer's reaction. It's a very, very important reaction. Let me write this reaction on the board and explain you about the Sandmeyer's reaction. Sandmeyer's reaction is learn the equation, and the writing part you can explain with that of equation if you learn the equation. Sandmeyer's reaction. Now see, when I said, I use the term when a primary aromatic amine. Aromatic means you will make a benzene ring. This is must, benzene ring. And it is amine that is present, and that too primary in nature. So primary aromatic amine C6H5NH2 is called as aniline. Primary aromatic amine is treated with sodium nitrite NaNO2 in presence of HCl. Temperature conditions 0 to 5 degrees Celsius or 273 to 278 Kelvin. It results in giving you benzene diazonium halide salt. This is the reaction which you get, benzene diazonium halide. Since I took here HCl, it gives you N2 plus Cl minus. Benzene diazonium chloride you get. This benzene diazonium chloride is very unstable. Benzene diazonium, DAIZONIUM, chloride. This on treatment with that of Cu2X2, it results in giving you that of halobenzene. So when I treat this benzene diazonium with Cu2X2, suppose I treat it with Cl2, Cu2Cl2, it results in giving you chlorobenzene there. Chlorobenzene is formed. Or it can be bromobenzene. If you take Cu2Br2, it will be bromobenzene plus nitrogen will be evolved. Nitrogen will be expelled off. And this reaction is called as your Sandmeyer's reaction. So Sandmeyer's reaction is primary aromatic amine treatment with NaNO2 in presence of HCl. Actually, when I treat NaNO2 with that of HCl, it generates out there nitrous acid. See, I am writing the reaction here. NaNO2 plus HCl. Temperature condition I am taking there as 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. So what is generated out? An acid. Nitrous acid is generated out. HNO2 plus NaCl. HNO2 plus NaCl. This HNO2 that is generated out is responsible for the formation of this benzene diazonium halide. You can write the structure of this benzene diazonium halide as N triple bond N plus Cl minus. This is also the structure of benzene diazonium halide there. I hope you have understood the Sandmeyer's reaction. There's no problem. Now, this was chlorobenzene and bromobenzene you can prepare. Suppose you need to prepare iodobenzene there. Then you need to shake the solution of benzene diazonium halide with that of Ki, potassium iodide. Just shake the solution of benzene diazonium halide with potassium iodide. It results in giving you iodobenzene plus nitrogen gases expelled out. Next method of preparation of alkyl halides is from alkenes. Very important preparation. The first method is addition of hydrogen halides. Alkenes, you all know, it is double bond containing compounds. So when an alkene is treated with hydrogen halide, first case is symmetrical alkene. What are symmetrical alkenes? Symmetrical alkenes are those which can be divided into two equal halves. So when a symmetrical alkene is treated with HX, it results in the formation of alkyl halide there. But if it is a case of unsymmetrical alkene and you are treating it with that of the hydrogen halide there, so the product depends upon, the major product is the one. It depends upon the rule that is called as Markovnikov's rule. And Markovnikov's rule states that in case of unsymmetrical alkene, the negative part of the addendum goes to that part of the carbon atom that is having less number of hydrogen atoms there. That is your major product that is formed. I am showing you here on the board. See the reaction. So on treatment with that of alkene, if you take a symmetrical alkene is which can be divided into two equal halves. So I take this alkene, suppose this can easily be divided into two equal halves, and if I am treating this with HX there, it results in the formation of one of the H goes to one of the carbon atom and one of the X goes to the other carbon atom there. So it results in giving you an alkyl halide there, X. So symmetrical alkene, you don't have problem. If it is a case of unsymmetrical alkene is propene, CH3, CH, double bond CH2. Okay, this is a case of unsymmetrical alkene. It is propene there. When this is treated with that of hydrogen chloride, suppose HCl. Now this is an unsymmetrical alkene. It cannot be divided into two equal halves. So this will be added, the negative part of the addendum. Addendum is the adding part in accordance with Markovnikov's rule. Markovnikov's rule, what does it say? The negative part of the addendum, Cl is the negative part, will go to that part of the carbon atom that is having lesser number of hydrogen atoms, and H will go to the other carbon atom there. So the product that is formed is, this will be your major product, CH3, CH, Cl gets added over here, single bond, CH3. So it is 2-chloropropane that is formed in major amount, and minor product will also be formed, but it will be formed in very less amount there. CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. This is formed in minor amount in accordance with Markovnikov's rule. So this is 2-chloropropane formed in major amount, and that is 1-chloropropane which is formed in minor amount. Now, here only if I apply anti-Markovnikov's rule. Anti-Markovnikov's rule takes place in presence of peroxide. That's why it is also called as peroxide effect. Anti-Markovnikov's rule. Anti means it is just reverse of Markovnikov's rule. So in presence of peroxide, in case of unsymmetrical alkene, the negative part of the addendum goes to that part of the carbon atom that is having more number of hydrogen atoms. So remember, the cleavage takes place always from double bond. More number of hydrogen atom is this carbon and not this carbon. This is already fulfilled, so you cannot add here. So in presence of peroxide, the major product is 1-chloropropane. So this is the product that is formed, CH3, CH2. When you are applying anti-Markovnikov's rule there, CH2Cl. Major and minor product will also be formed, but it will be formed in very less amount. And less amount compound is 2-chloropropane, CH, Cl, CH3. So this is the compound that is formed in accordance with anti-Markovnikov's rule. Peroxide is there, then anti-Markovnikov's rule. And in absence of peroxide, it is Markovnikov's rule which takes place there. Hope you have understood. Next is addition of halogens. So in addition of halogens in the lab, addition of bromine to that of, in presence of carbon tetrachloride, to that of an alkene, double bond containing compounds. When you pass bromine gas through alkene, there's unsaturated hydrocarbons, the red color of bromine gets discharged there, and that's why it's an important method for the detection of double bond in a molecule there. So CH2 double bond CH2 on treatment with that of bromine in presence of carbon tetrachloride, it results in giving you vicinal dibromides, that is CH2Br, CH2Br. Vicinal means two adjacent carbon atoms carry halogen groups on both the adjacent carbon atoms there. So it results in giving you vicinal dibromides there. Look at the question. It is example 10.4 of your NCERT book. The question is, write the products of the following reactions. Now see here the question. The question that is given is, this is the compound. Now Br. This is an unsymmetrical alkene. So cleavage will take place from here. Look at the arrow movement, cursor. The cleavage will take place from double bond here and in accordance with Markovnikov's rule. So the negative part of the addendum, negative part of HBr is Br minus. So this Br minus gets added to that carbon atom that is having lesser number of hydrogen atoms there. So it will get added to this carbon atom. You see here, the product that is formed is Br has got added over here, and it has become saturated compound, and H is added on this carbon atom there. Hope you follow. Look at the second one. CH3, CH2, CH double bond, CH2. This is but1ene. On treatment with HCl, the negative part is Cl minus, goes to that part of the carbon atom that is having less number of hydrogen atom containing compound. So the product formed is CH3, CH2, CH. Cl gets added over to this CH there, and single bond CH3. So this is the compound 2-chlorobutane is formed. The third question is, in presence of peroxide. So cleavage takes place from this double bond there. So in presence of peroxide, anti-Markovnikov's rule you will apply. So this negative part will go to the carbon atom that is having more number of hydrogen atoms. So here the compound is C6H5, CH2, CH2, CH2Br, and that's how you will write the products of the reaction. They are important. They will come in your exam. Now I start with the second name reaction there. And the second name reaction of this chapter is halogen exchange reactions. There are two halogen exchange reactions which are there included in this. First one is Finkelstein reaction and the second one is your Schwarz reaction respectively. So let me explain you about the Finkelstein reaction. That is when it is simple halogen exchange reaction. So when an alkyl halide is treated with that of sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone, it results in the formation of alkyl iodide plus NaX. So remember in your mind that Finkelstein reaction is used for the preparation of alkyl iodides. So when an alkyl chloride or bromide is treated with that of sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone, it results in giving you alkyl iodide plus sodium halide, NaX. So this is the first Finkelstein reaction of halogen exchange. The second halogen exchange reaction is Schwarz reaction. So in Schwarz reaction, we prepare alkyl fluorides there. So alkyl fluorides can be prepared on treatment of alkyl halide with some metallic fluoride. The metallic fluorides can be silver fluoride, Hg2F2, COF2 or SbF3 respectively. And this is Schwarz reaction there. So remember in your mind that both Finkelstein reaction and Schwarz reaction are halogen exchange reactions. So exchange of halogens, simple exchange of halogens takes place. Finkelstein reaction is used for the preparation of alkyl iodides and Schwarz reaction is used for the preparation of alkyl fluorides respectively. So till now we have read three name reactions. One was Sandmeyer's reaction, second was Finkelstein reaction, and the third one was Schwarz reaction. All the three are important. You will learn them by writing, putting it in writing. Now look at the question here. Why is sulfuric acid not used during the reaction of alcohols with Ki? So actually, you see this answer is here. Sulfuric acid acts as an oxidizing agent. Remember, sulfuric acid acts as an oxidizing agent and it oxidizes Hi that is produced in the reaction to that of iodine. So see the reaction, Ki reacts with H2SO4 to form KHSO4 plus Hi, and this Hi reacts with H2SO4 to give you H2O plus I2 plus SO2. Thus, it prevents the reaction between an alcohol and Hi to form an alkyl iodide. So to overcome this difficulty, we will take a non-oxidizing acid such as H3PO4 in place of H2SO4. That is the reason and equation you will write the explanation part. Next question you see, the question is, write structures of different dihalogen derivatives of propane. There are 4 different structures you can write for dihalogen derivatives of propane. They are, I'm just giving the names, you write the structures. 1,3-dibromopropane, 1,2-dibromopropane, 1,1-dibromopropane and 2,2-dibromopropane respectively. So 4 isomeric dihalogen derivatives of propane are formed for each halogen. Next question you see. And the question is, among the isomeric alkanes of molecular formula C5H12, identify the one that on photochemical chlorination yields a single monochloride, 3 isomeric monochlorides and 4 isomeric monochlorides respectively. So when you draw the isomers of an alkane of molecular formula C5H12, there are 3 isomers which you'll get. One is neopentane, second one is N-pentane, and the third one is your 2-methyl butane. That is called as isopentane. So there you see, the question is, which I explained you by free radical halogenation reaction, whatever are the number of replaceable hydrogen atoms that are present, that many number of your monochlorides will be formed in the reaction there. So the first question is, identify the one that on photochemical chlorination yields a single monochloride. Now see on the board. It's single monochloride. So there are three different isomers that are formed with per molecular formula C5H12. So first let me write the normal pentane CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. Then let me write isopentane. Isopentane is CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is 2-methyl-butane. And the third one is neopentane. Neopentane is when you put carbon in the middle, CH3, CH3, CH3 and CH3. 5 carbon atoms are there. Now see, the question is, you need to identify the one that is on photochemical chlorination gives a single monochloride. Now see, single monochloride, replaceable hydrogen. If I remove a hydrogen from this carbon atom, if I remove hydrogen from this carbon atom, if I remove hydrogen from this carbon atom, or this carbon atom, from wherever I remove, I'll get the single monochloride. So the the answer to the first part of the question is neopentane. This will yield single monochloride there. Then here you see 3 monochlorides. If I remove hydrogen from here, or if I remove hydrogen from this carbon atom, I get the same compound. If I remove from the second carbon atom or this carbon atom, I'll get the same compound. Third carbon atom, I'll get. Since 3 different replaceable hydrogen atoms are present here, it results in giving you 3 monochlorides there. Okay, and 4 monochlorides here you see. This is replaceable atom A, replaceable hydrogen atom A, replaceable hydrogen atom B, replaceable hydrogen atom C, replaceable hydrogen atom D. So since there are 4 different replaceable hydrogen atoms, so this will yield you this compound, that is isopentane. 2-methyl-butane will yield 4 monochlorides. Neopentane will yield 1 monochloride, and this compound N-pentane will yield 3 monochlorides respectively. I hope you understood that answer. Let's come to the next question now. The next question is, here you see, the question is, draw the structures of the following reactions. Now the first question is, it is cyclobutanol. When it is treated with SOCl2, that is thionyl chloride. I told you the reactions of preparation of alkyl halide of alcohols from that on treatment with that of thionyl chloride. So OH gets replaced with that of Cl there. Okay, so you get this compound chlorocyclohexane, and the byproducts that are formed are sulfur dioxide and HCl, and this is the best method of preparation of aryl halides or alkyl halides there. Next is second question, 4-ethyl nitrobenzene. So when 4-ethyl nitrobenzene on treatment with bromine in presence of ultraviolet light, so here actually benzylic hydrogen is abstracted. This is benzylic hydrogen. I told you what is benzylic hydrogen. The carbon should be sp3 hybridized. This carbon, you see my arrow movement, this is sp3 hybridized, and this is attached to benzene ring respectively. So the hydrogen of this carbon atom is abstracted and benzylic hydrogen is removed out, and bromine gets replaced, and it results in the formation of the compound 1-bromo-ethyl nitrobenzene. Okay, this is the compound that is formed. Look at the third one. Here OH is there, here also OH is there. So the OH that is attached to the carbon, this cannot be undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction there. It will not undergo the reaction. The carbon that is attached to this CH2OH, that will be OH group will be replaced with that of Cl there. So the product that is formed on treatment of 4-hydroxymethylphenol with HCl, it gives 4-chloromethylphenol respectively. Here OH simply gets replaced with that of Cl. So only alcoholic but not phenolic OH groups can be replaced by Cl on treatment with HCl. Look at the fourth problem. It is 1-methyl cyclohexene on treatment with HI. This is Markovnikov's rule. This compound 1-methyl cyclohexene on treatment with HI, you have to apply their Markovnikov's rule. It results in giving you 1-iodo 1-methyl cyclohexane, 1-iodo 1-methyl cyclohexane respectively. Then fifth part of the question you see CH3CH2Br on treatment with sodium iodide. Okay, bromomethane on treatment with sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone. The reaction is halogen exchange reaction, and it is used for the preparation of iodides, alkyl iodides. And the name reaction is Finkelstein reaction. This reaction is Finkelstein reaction, and it results in the formation of iodoethane CH3CH2I plus NaBr. So this is simple halogen exchange reaction, Finkelstein reaction. And the last one you see, that is cyclohexene on treatment with bromine in presence of heat, ultraviolet light. Allylic bromination takes place here. Allylic bromination is carbon is sp3 hybridized and is attached next to carbon-carbon double bond there, right? So the hydrogen of that carbon, which is sp3 hybridized, is replaced with that of Br, and it results in giving you 3-bromo cyclohex-1-ene plus HBr. So you will thus draw these structures in your assignment copy. The questions that are in text assignment questions, you will do it in your copy. And thank you so much. Have a nice day.